Welcome to Basic Brewing Video. I'm James Spencer.
I'm Steve Wilkes.
It's your show again.
Well, I brewed a stout.
You do a tiny stout.
A tiny stout. I wanted to show off these little bottles. Are these not the coolest little
They're
bottles
cute.
you've ever seen in your
What were they
life?
originally?
They're little 7-ounce beer bottles.
Oh.
So when I had my shop, I stocked these things.
Oh.
And I loved them because I could do a little short pour, kind of, and then give people samples and stuff. But now that I'm into the small batch brewing, I'm also kind of into the small batch bottling because it's a nice size pour.
Yeah.
It's a little.
Just don't take it outside.
Just don't take it outside. That's right. Well, I mean, there is a drawback.
Yeah. You can see the beer, but so can the sun.
So can the sun.
And
so
the
you have
UV
to
rays
be
and all that.
really, really careful. I'm going to go ahead and just open.
All right.
And so this is a little stout that I brewed in honor of the pedal steel player in the country and western band I'm playing in. So,
As we all do.
as we all do. So anyway, I'm at rehearsal a few weeks ago, and he pipes up that he really likes those dark beers.
Oh.
And I thought, well, I'll just brew a little stout for JT. So this is
JT.
stout for JT.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh boy, that smells chocolatey. Doesn't it? My nose doesn't work as well as it used to, but I can smell that. Wow. It's kind of raisiny and chocolatey and...
It's a big old, let me tell you what's in it.
Tell me what's in it. How's this go?
This is a 2.5 gallon batch of beer, which has, the grain bill is 4 pounds of two-row, 4 pounds of Breeze two-row, 8 ounces of roasted barley, 4 ounces of Victory, 8 ounces of light brown sugar,
Oh. Huh.
2 ounces of maltodextrin, 2 ounces of unsulfured molasses.
I get it.
Now, that's the fermentables. Now, the maltodextrin is not fermentable,
Right.
so I added that to, so it's a sweet stout. I
Yeah.
made a sweet stout. So I made it as a Christmas, a little bit, winter warmer kind of beer. And I don't brew much of those. I kind of got away from those for a long time. But so this was the first kind of big, thick, chewy beer I made in quite a long time. 47 IBUs. I just did 1 ounce of Northern Brewer. The Northern Brewer I've been trying to get rid of for quite a while. Anyway, I just did a bittering charge, 1 ounce at 60 minutes to render me approximately 47 IBUs. And I used Nottingham, a packet of Nottingham. The beer started at 1063. It finished at 1024, and that was supposed to finish about 1015. And then I got to bottling day, and the beer was clear. It was clearly had dropped. I mean, it wasn't going to do anything else. And I took that final gravity reading, and I was like, oh no, now what do I do? I know, right? And I
Just bottle it.
I just bottled it because I wasn't sure if I had left some. I just wasn't sure if it had attenuated for.
Right. Right.
But I tasted it and I looked at it and I made my experienced brewer guess that it was fine. And sure enough, it was. I 2.5 gallon batch. I carbonated it with 1/4 cup of honey.
Oh, okay.
That was my priming sugar. Stirred it in, of course, and rendered me a 5.1% beer. Oh, and I remember something else about this beer. When I made it, I boiled it a little bit longer than I meant to, and I ended up with a heavier beer, about almost a 7% beer, and a little less volume. I went ahead and cut it with some filtered water
Oh, okay.
because I didn't want a 6.5 or 7% beer. I wanted about a 5% beer, so I just thinned it down.
There you go.
And did that in the primer as I was getting ready to pitch the yeast, and ended up with a little more volume and actual. I had boiled down more than I needed to, so I brought it back up,
Yeah.
and it worked just fine. I did start with distilled water that I purchased from the local big box store, and I started with 3 gallons of water, and I added 2 grams of gypsum, calcium chloride, and Epsom salt each.
Huh.
And that's the brewing salts in the water, or brewing chemicals.
Well, it's got a nice sharpness to it. I don't know how much of that is the chemical, how much is the hops, and how much is like the roasted barley. But it's got a really nice sharpness to it that cuts that, what you would think would be a really sweet beer.
It's not.
At 1024,
Yeah.
finishing gravity. But it's not. It's not gloppy at all. I really get the brown sugar and the molasses. Those dark sugary flavors. They're really a compliment to the beer. It tastes. It's not super drinkable in that it's delicious, but I don't want to go. Whoop,
No, I agree.
I want to sip it.
Yep.
And in that way, it drinks bigger than it is.
It does, and that's another argument for these little 7-ounce pour bottles. Is that when you get a beer like this, I agree completely. I don't really want to sit down and just pound these down.
Right.
Yeah, it's just not that kind of beer. But so a little 7-ounce pour is about the right amount.
Yeah.
For a single serving.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know that I mean, it's a delicious beer, but it's a lot.
It's a lot.
And I don't know that I would want more than this. This is the perfect amount. A lot of times when you get, these big end of the year celebratory, barrel aged, whatever beers, a lot of times they come in big bottles. The breweries are proud of them, and they should be, but they come in these giant bottles, and you're like, what? What am I going to drink that?
Yeah, and well, I've still got some stuff in the fridge at home that you brought me, but they're in those big kind of crowlers, those 32-ounce crowlers. So I'm like, I got to wait till I've got 2 or 3 people with me who are interested.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're really good beers. I don't want to share them with people that are like,
Yeah.
ooh, what's that?
Yeah, ooh.
So-
wow, thank you for,
Yeah.
we
all have
those relatives and friends. This is really, really good. It's a celebration of the roast. It's a celebration of chocolate.
Yep.
And of dark sugars, but at the same time without being gloppy. So it's a testament to your skill as a cook and a brewer. Was it your humbleness? I don't know what it was. You were choking on your own.
I was choking up.
Well, this is really good. We're done shooting for the day, we should go and sit somewhere.
Sit.
And converse and enjoy.
Well, if you like big, thick, chewy beers that don't just knock you down, this is a pretty good recipe. It came out fine.
Real good. And double it up if you want to go 5 gallons.
Exactly.
There you go.
Cheers.
Happy brewing. Come and visit us online at basicbrewing.com. You can find archive lists of our audio and video podcasts on homebrewing. You can also find our DVDs and our brewer's logbook, where you can track and log up to 50 batches of beer. Welcome to Basic Brewing. Hey.
Third show.